Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Acharya ji.
Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya. So we'll continue with where we left off. This is the 9th verse of, the 11th verse of the 9th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Avajananti Mam Mudha Manushim Tanumashritam Param Bhavamajanantah Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. Okay, so first look at the words. Mama Param Bhavam Ajanantaha. So Mama is from the second line. Mama Param Bhavam Ajanantaha. These people, who are they? Mudaha. These people who are confused. These people who are deluded. Mama Param Bhavam Ajanantaha. They don't know my higher nature. And what is my higher nature? Bhuta Maheshwaram. I am the Maha Ishwaraha, the great Lord of all bhutas, of all beings. And because they are confused, what happens? Avajananti mam. Avajanam. They do not know me. They do not recognize me. Avajananti mam. And what is my real nature? Ashritam Manushim Tanum. I am the one who is resident in the human body. I am the Dehi, but this Dehi is my higher nature. They don't recognize. Okay, so with the last verse, the description of the higher nature, para prakriti, is over, right? Krishna has in great detail talked about the para prakriti. And now he says, what is the problem if you don't recognize this para prakriti? So that is the topic here. And what is the problem when you do not recognize the higher nature, your own higher nature? When you don't recognize, what happens? You have samsara. So the samsara karanam is represented by mama param bhavam ajanantaha. If you do not know your own higher nature, you will take yourself as the lower nature, and therefore you will have problems, because the lower nature is never free from problems. How can you expect a problem-free, existence from that existence which is full of problems? You can never expect permanence from the impermanent. You can never expect security from what is constantly changing, right? So this wrong expectation of taking him, in fact, when you say taking Ishvara as the lower nature, Krishna is talking about himself. People look at the Krishna form and they take him as Krishna, the person, whereas they should be looking at the higher nature, Atma itself. But you look at, all of us look at what? All of us look at our lower form. So that is the problem with not recognizing the higher form. If I don't recognize that I am Atma, I will take myself as Anatma. That by itself is not the problem. The problem is that I want permanent security. And if I take myself as Anatma, this wanting of permanent security is going along with my taking myself as Anatma, and that is the problem. If a person wants security, he should go to that which is permanent, that which is secure, that Paraprakriti he should go to. But Krishna says nobody understands that by not recognizing higher nature, they are holding on to Apara Prakriti. Apara Prakriti will cause problems. Apara Prakriti comes and goes. And if you are holding on to that Apara Prakriti, and then you complain that you're insecure, you're frightened, you're troubled, who are you? Mudaha, confused people, ignorant people who have not recognized the difference between Nitya and Anitya. So no Anitya Vastu can give us peace or security. Remember that anything which is Saguna will only continue samsara. The only thing which is Nirguna, that Nirguna Vastu only can put end to samsara. This discrimination these people don't have, and therefore Mudaha, these confused people, Mama Param Bhavam Ajanantaha, they do not know my Nirguna Swarupam, my higher nature. And why is this a problem? Because of not knowing my higher nature, they are going to take my lower nature as the real Ishvara. Right? Just like because I don't know the true nature of the rope, I take the rope as the snake. Right? So here the rope, true nature of the rope is higher nature. The snake is the lower nature. Snake is mithya, rope is satyam. Not knowing the satyam, they are going to take mithya as the truth. Not knowing that you are atma, you will take your anatma portion as the truth. And therefore Shankara here says that avajananti must be taken as paribhavam kurvanti, treating with contempt. So because you don't know the higher nature, you treat that nature with contempt. You ignore it. So paribhavam is ignoring it. And why do you ignore it? Manushim tanum ashritam. I seem to be accommodated. I seem to be resident of a human body. So that any body is a lower nature, whether it be Krishna form, Rama form, Devi form, whatever form, Vishwarupa form also. Any form is a lower nature because any form means boundary. Boundary means limitation. Only limited things can be perceived by the sense organs. Whatever is perceived by sense organs can only be limited, can only be lower nature. So Krishna is saying, taking this, the body of Krishna, the avatara body, the human form, as the real form, are you glorifying me or are you insulting me? It's like taking a double PhD in mathematics and telling him that, okay, you do some addition and subtraction. It is insulting, right? And this is what he is pointing out. When you take the Ishvara as Saguna with a form, what do you take Saguna form for? To do puja. When you do puja, what is the first thing you say? Asanam samarpayami. I am giving you the seat, right? So how foolish it is to give a seat to Ishvara. Why? Ishvara is the asanam on which the entire universe is situated. So you are very foolish. You are not glorifying Ishvara by doing that puja. You are actually insulting him. And then you want to wash his feet, right? You want to give him a bath and change his clothes. Where are the limbs of a formless Ishvara? Nirguna Ishvara has no limbs, no feet, no hands, no body. Where is the question of washing feet or giving clothes? So what is being stated is that Saguna Ishvara is a concept which is necessary for a beginner. It can be Ekarupa Ishvara, later on it can graduate to, Anekarupa Ishvara, but ultimately it has to end in Nirguna Chaitanyam alone. So Sagunam to Nirgunam, Apara to Para, Achaitanam to Chaitanam. This has to be the journey of the seeker. Otherwise, the journey is meaningless. And therefore, he says, this they don't recognize. Who am I? Bhuta Maheshwaram. I am the substratum, the controller of all the beings, the controller of the entire universe. And Bhuta Maheshwaram means Sarva Bhutanam Mahantam Ishwaram. Maheshwaram is Mahantam Ishwaran, greatest Lord, beyond which there is no other Lord, the controller of all controllers, of what? Sarva Bhutanam, of all beings. Right? Now, in his commentary, Shankara wants to point out that this Mahantam Ishwaram, no, you don't. The moment you say, I want to worship the Lord, I want to, recognize the Lord, I want to do puja to the Lord, what will you do? You will go to Vaikuntham, you will go to Kailasha, you will go to temple, all these things you will do. So Shankara says here, Swatmanam. You don't have to do any of these things. You don't have to go anywhere. Swatmanam is inside you. Look inside you. You will find Sarvabhutanam Mahantam Ishwaram. So that Nirguna Swarupam, that Nirguna Ishvara, these mudhas, these unfortunate people, they don't know. And therefore, what do? They take the Saguna form as the real form. Okay. And why are these people mudaha? That is said in the next verse. So we will chant. Please unmute yourself. The verse number 12. Moghasha mogha karmanaha.
मोघाशा मोघकर्मणः
Mogha jnana vichetasah.
मोघज्ञानविचेतसः
Rakshasim asurim chaiva.
राक्षसीम् सुरीं चैव
चैव
Prakritim mohanim shritaha.
प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः
So first just look at the words, then we'll do the commentary. Vichetasaha, vina chetasaha, the people who are not having chetasaha, people who are not having brains, to put it very briefly, indiscriminate people. Vichetasaha, without discrimination. Mogha asha, mogha asha. Asha is hope. Mogha is useless, vain. So full of useless hopes, vain hopes. Mogha karmanaha, useless karmas. They do actions for worldly purposes. Any action for a worldly purpose is mogha karmanaha, because their action is not done for chitta shuddhi. A very nice way of looking at any worldly action. It is mogha karmanaha, done out of delusion, thinking that the benefit of the action will be happiness. It is not. So moghasha, vain hopes, mogha karmanaha, useless actions, and mogha jnanaha, useless knowledge. They are well educated but have no knowledge of the scriptures. What do? Such people, vichitasaha, moghasha, mogha karmanaha, mogha jnanaha. What do these people do? Shritaha. They adopt, or they take to, or they do activities which are Rakshasim and Asurim. So Rakshasim is to be taken as Tamasic, Asurim is to be taken as Rajasic. Rakshasim, Tamasim, Prakritim, Mohinam. So these people, Prakritim Mohinim, they are forced by their confused nature, mohini prakritihi. That prakriti, that nature which has confused them, they are forced to do what? Tamasic and asuric karma. So he's saying, Krishna is saying, why is it? What did he say in the last sloka? Those who have not understood my higher nature, they are unfortunate people. Why are they unfortunate? Because they don't learn from their experience. What is experience? They think that some object, some person, some event in life, some objective in life they have. A good house, a great car, and they think a lot of money, and they think that once I achieve that, I will be happy. So they achieve the object, then they realize either that there are better objects, and that or that this object also goes away. And therefore, they have not learned from their experience. When one perishable object goes away, and I have understood that that perishable object cannot give me permanent happiness, what should I do? I should look for something which gives me permanent happiness. But this mudaha, these deluded, confused people, they don't learn that lesson. So when one perishable object goes away, they will take up another perishable thing in the hope that this will be a solution. So it's like giving up cigarettes and taking up to drinking, right? I have given up cigarettes. I have replaced it with what? With drinking every day. One finite dependence is being replaced by another finite dependence. And why does this happen? One has to look at the process of karma, of any human activity. What are the three stages involved? First, there is knowing, then there is desiring, and then making the necessary action, right? Janati, ichhati, yatate. So you first know something, then you desire it, then you do action. So Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Throughout life, this is the process. Jnanam, Jnana Shakti to Ichha Shakti to Kriya Shakti. And therefore, all actions begin where? Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. All actions begin at the Jnanam level, at the understanding level, at the cognitive level. If your understanding itself is not clear, if your Jnana Shakti is confused, your Ichha Shakti will be abused. And if Ichha Shakti is abused, Kriya Shakti will be abused. So the clear Jnanam, thinking process, unless it is clear, your karma will be of absolutely no use. So these mudaha, vichetasaha, people who do not have viveka shakti, avivekinaha. So when you say that a person has very limited viveka shakti, how will you explain that in terms of the three gunas? Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter. Come on, guys. If viveka shakti is not clear, what is the effect which the three gunas are having on you?
Tamasic.
No, you need
Rajasic.
to.
Rajasic and Tamasic are more than Sattva.
Sorry, come again. Somebody said.
Rajasic and
Predominantly
Tamasic
Rajasic
are
and
more
Tamasic.
than Sattva.
Okay.
Well, Gyan Shakti is Sattva. So if you don't have that, then predominantly it is Tamasic and Rajasic, which is in your system.
Very good. So, the people who are Vichetasaha, who do not have Viveka Shakti, for them, their Sattva Guna has been clouded, has been overpowered by Rajas and Tamas. Okay, so that is a person who doesn't have Sattva Guna. We must remember all these ultimately, if you connect the entire teaching, then only we become clear. So Vichetasaha means a person whose tamasic and rajasic gunas are powerful. Their overcoming is Sattva Guna. So Vichetasaha, these people don't understand. And because there is wrong thinking pattern, because Sattva Guna has been overpowered, the thinking pattern is not clear. Therefore, Mogha Jnanaha. Their understanding itself is wrong. Their expectation itself is wrong. So Mogha Jnana is what? The knowledge, in brackets, the wrong knowledge, the misconception that power is permanent, wealth is permanent, people around me will be permanent, I will be permanently happy. So that is Mogha Jnanaha, having incorrect expectations from the world around you. And because they have Mogha Jnanaha, they will focus only on the world around them. And therefore, Mogha Ashaha. They have got vain desire, useless desires. But desires are based on what? Ichha is based on what? Jnanam. But the Jnanam itself is useless, is worthless. And therefore, since the Jnanam is Mogaha, deluded, worthless, obviously the Ichha which is based on that Jnanam is also worthless. Therefore, Mogha Jnana, Mogha Ashaha. Their knowledge is worthless, desires are also worthless. Because Ichha Shakti is worthless, because Jnana Shakti is worthless. Therefore, what happens? Kriya Shakti will also be futile. And therefore, Mogha Karmanaha. All three connected. Mogha Jnana, Mogha Asha, Mogha Karma. Misguided intellect, futile desires, useless actions. Okay. Now, what are these useless actions? So here Shankara gives a commentary. He just writes, these are activities, karmas like Agnihotram Adi. Right? So he says, by doing this Agnihotra, this is Shankara's interpretation. By doing this Agnihotra, what are you doing? You are praying to the Lord. Now, all of us normally think that praying to the Lord is a great thing to do, right? Doing puja is a great thing to do. But here we are talking about what? We are talking about recognizing the higher nature of the Lord. So remember that here in this commentary, in this verse, we should not take it as saying that you should not do any puja at all. We are saying for those people who think that that is the only aim in life. If you are doing puja for Chitta Shuddhi, it's a different commentary altogether, right? Because you're doing puja for Chitta Shuddhi, which means you know there is a higher nature, you know there's a lower nature, and therefore you are praying to the lower nature in the hope of Chitta Shuddhi. Once you get Chitta Shuddhi, you will go to Jnanam to study about the higher nature. So that is not what is being talked about. He is talking about people whose knowledge itself is futile, therefore desires are futile, therefore they do actions like Agnihotram, etc. This is a commentary. This is a commentary on the words of the last sloka. Mam mudaha avajananti, where he says that they are insulting the Lord by taking him as the finite person. So here the idea conveyed is that all sakama puja which is aimed at fulfilling desires only, right? There is no chitta shuddhi on the horizon. You don't have that idea at all, but you are praying for only fulfilling desires. Therefore, sakama puja. So here he is saying that sakama puja is an insult to Ishvara, is a crime. So in the Indian penal system, we have the Indian Penal Code, right? IPC. And violation of that code is a crime. So here also you got IPC, Easwaran's Penal Code. And you have violated that penal code. What is your punishment? Your imprisonment in the sea of samsara will continue. You will continue to remain there. Why do you get this punishment? Because Ishvara is the Nirguna Swarupam in your heart. And yet, you choose the Swaguna Swarupam over that person. Over the Nirguna, which is superior, you choose the Saguna. Okay. And if you want to understand this logic, what should you do? One day when your partner has made delicious, let us say masala dosa for dinner, you go and tell that partner that no, I prefer the morning stale chapatis which the cook made. You will understand the impact of this immediately. Okay. So remember, again I'll say, we are not saying that Sakama Puja has no benefit. Sakama Puja will always give worldly benefits. Right? Always give. And there is Krishna's own pramanam. Where is the pramanam? 7th chapter. Do you remember what Krishna said? 7th chapter. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhaya achyutum ichchati tasya tasya achalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham. In whatever manner a person prays to me, in that same manner I will make his Shraddha firm. How? By giving him what he wants. Therefore, Sakama Puja has got benefits. But here Krishna says, all that Sakama Puja is Moga Karmanaha. They are useless. So, if you want to reconcile the statement that Sakama Puja has got benefits with this statement that Sakama Puja is Moga Karmanaha, what is the only way? You have to say that Sakama Puja, Sakama Karma is useless for the purpose of moksha. That you have to add. Moga Karmanaha Mokshartham. For the purpose of moksha, that puja is totally useless. And the more you nourish such desires, the more you pray, what happens? That desire will get converted to greed. What will happen with greed? You will have to nourish that greed also. So kamya karma will keep on leading to more kamya karma. And therefore, what will happen? Mohinim ashritaha. Under the influence of this confusion, these people will take to actions which are rakshasim, asurim, chaiva, prakritim, mohinim shritaha. Their actions will be kama pradhana actions driven by desire, or krodha pradhana actions driven by anger. Now, in his commentary, Shankara does not differentiate between Rakshasi and Asuri. The word is Rakshasim Asurim. So there are two words over there. Rakshasa, Asuraha. So Rakshasim, Asurim. Two words are there, right? So commentary, Shankara does not differentiate. But there is another very famous commentator called Madhusudana Saraswati. What is the name of his commentary?
Gudartha Deepika.
Gudartha Deepika, right? He comments on this. He says Rakshasim has to be taken as Dvesha Pradhana, driven by hatred. In which case, which is the predominant guna?
Tamas.
Tamas. So Dvesha Pradhana is Tamas Pradhana. So Rakshasim has to be taken as Tamas Pradhanam. And Asurim has to be taken as Raga Pradhanam. That is driven by attachment, by greed, and therefore Rajas Pradhanam. Therefore Rakshasim is Tamasic, Asurim is Rajasic. These people will have time only for adharmika karma. And therefore, in his commentary, Madhusudana Saraswati says, these people become fit to enter the doors of Naraka. Okay, the doors of Naraka again are mentioned in our own Bhagavad Gita in chapter number 16, where he says there are Trividham Narakasya Dwaram. There are 3 doors to Naraka. What are they? Those who are chanting regularly should know.
I remember the 2 the Kama Esha, Krodha Esha.
That is a different chapter altogether. Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, different chapter. Trividham Narakasyedam Dwaram Nashanam Atmanaha, it says. Anybody remembers? Kama Krodhas
Kama,
Tatha.
Krodha, Lobha.
Kama Krodhas Tatha Lobha. Okay, so these 3 one should avoid because they are the doors of Naraka. Okay. So when initially we take to banned karmas, banned by the scriptures, Nishiddha karma or Kama karma, it's like a little flame beginning. The forest fire begins with a small little flame. At that time, your intellect can stop them. But if you let it go, then it grows. And once the small flame grows and becomes a raging fire, then the intellect cannot control anymore. And the thing with thing with human beings is what I cannot control, I will try to justify. Because I'm not able to control my intellect and I'm doing adharma, then what will happen? I will justify every adharmic action of mine. Such people are called rajasic people. And that is so they're called the asuras and this, right? So when such people are rajasic, they are called asuras. That is what Madhusudana Saraswati said. When your ragadvesha becomes extremely strong, then you can do karmas to hurt other people, right? Interestingly, there are rituals in the Vedas, the Karma Kanda of the Vedas, which I don't, of course, know the places or the exact locations. There is, for example, worship of Rakshasas, Pishachas, various evil spirits. There is also a reference to black magic. Like there's something called a Shena Yagaha. Shenam is an eagle, a vulture. And in this Shena Yagaha, what happens is the Yajna Kunda, the Yajna Kunda is designed in the form of a vulture. That's why it's called Shena Yagaha. And in this yaga, apparently, special offerings are made for bringing around the destruction of other people. So therefore, your religious field can be used in the field of black magic also, where in these kind of yagas, what happens? All the evil devatas, durdevatas, they are invited, and offerings of flesh, blood, all these are also done. So you'll see them in various tantric rituals also. But of course, Veda, while it says that this kind of karma, now this kind of karma is called abhicharika karma, black magic, right? So abhicharika karma, Veda talks about, and I understand that Veda says that this abhicharika karma can be used to destroy enemies and get material success. That is accepted, that this kind of yajna, this kind of yaga can actually bring about the destruction of enemies and give you lots of material wealth. But at the same time, Veda gives a warning that people who use this abhicharya karma, for them old age will be terrible in this current janma. They'll be full of sorrow and pain. Not only that, future janmas will also be full of sorrow and pain. So ideally, we should know that such things are there and avoid, right? So we are not saying here that don't do any karma at all. That's not the idea at all. But what we are saying is, if at all you are doing karma, do it with the correct, objective. What is that? Do puja, no problem. Do puja for Ishvara, but do it for Chitta Shuddhi. Do it for Jnana Yogyata, right? Now, if I already got Jnana Yogyata, should I stop doing puja? No. If you are a beginner, if you are not sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha, do the puja for sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. But if you already have that, then do it for jnana praptihi. If you already have jnanam, if you're already a jnani, then do it for jnana nishtha. If you're already jnana nishtha, then do it for loka sangraham. Don't stop doing karma. Just do it with the right sankalpa. And therefore, never take these slokas as disrespecting Vaidika karma. Always respect Vaidika karma. Whether you are a sannyasi or a grahastha is irrelevant. Vaidika karma is the very, backbone of Sanatana Dharma. Okay, any questions so far?
What does Loka Sangraha mean, Acharyaji?
For the benefit of other people. You set up a charitable home, that is Loka Sangraha. You give food to the hungry, that is Loka Sangraha. You set up a charitable hospital, that is Loka Sangraha.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go ahead. We will look at verse number 13. Please unmute yourself. Mahatmanastu mam partha
Mahatmanastu mam
daivim prakritimashritah
Daivim
Ashritaha
Ashritaha
bhajanti ananyamanasaha
Bhajanti Ananya Manasaha
gyatva bhutadim avyayam
Jnatva Bhutadimavyam
Mahatmanastu. So Mahatmanaha plus tu. Right? The tu is to differentiate from the previous verse. Previous verse talked about deluded people. So now we are talking about a different category of people. That is indicated by the word tu. To differentiate or otherwise. But, okay. But what? Mahatmanaha. Mahatmanaha. Noble souls. What do they do? Ashritaha daivim prakritim. They have taken recourse, they have resorted to their higher nature, to sattvika gunaha. And what do they do? Gyatva avyayam bhutadim. Having known me, avyayam, imperishable, unchangeable, bhuta adim. The cause, bhuta adim is the karanam. Adi is the beginning. Adi can be taken as cause also. So bhuta adim, having taken me as the imperishable, unchangeable karanam of all beings, karanam of the universe, what did they do? Ananya manasaha, without any other focus in their mind, only I am the focus. Bhajanti mam, they worship me. Ananya manasaha is important. They worship me with an undistracted mind. So this is a discussion on a person who is not a aviveki. That is indicated by tu. And mahatmanaha indicates sattva pradhanaha, predominantly sattva, who has had the punyam to be born in the right family, right cultured family, where there are religious values, where there are regular prayers, whether it is meditation, whether it is study, everything is there. So this comes only to the proper prarabdha karma, that kind of family. And because of that karma itself, he is born with the sattva guna as predominant. Right? Now, Shankara here in his commentary, he gives a slightly different definition. He says, this Mahatmanaha is to be taken as a person who has a great mind. So, Atma here he takes as mind. Mahatma means a great mind and very generous mind. But in fact, the word generous is not correct, because the normal meaning of a great mind is what? A person who is very generous, who is not petty in character. So broad-minded, we say. Person is broad-minded, right? But this is not the meaning he takes. Shankara says the meaning here is this great mind is a mind which does not ask Ishvara for small things. What does he ask for? The biggest thing
Moksha.
possible. He asks for moksha.
Mo-
That is why his
Moksha.
mind is great. So Mahatmanaha, the person who asks Ishvara only for moksha. And what is his nature? Daivim Prakritim. He's Sattvika nature. He has been born in a family where Panchamahayagnyas are there, and all sort of environment to make you Sattvic is there. And this happens only because of the grace of the Lord, which is why the person is Daivim, is Sattva Pradhanam. And when this happens, when you're born in such a religious atmosphere, then it is not very difficult to get Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka. And therefore, you examine the results in this world. He knows that, there are no permanent solutions from impermanent causes. And therefore, he develops a healthy vairagyam. He learns the only lesson. In fact, in life, if you have a mature mind, you will come across many experiences, right? You will have good experiences, you have bad experiences, you have painful experiences, you have pleasant experiences, you have honorable experiences, you have dishonorable experiences. People honor you, people insult you. But this Mahatmanaha, he, from all these lessons of life, he learns only one lesson. What is that? From every experience in life, this Mahatmanaha learns only one lesson. What is that? I should not seek security from this world. I should not seek Purnatvam from a Apurna Vastu. I need to seek Purnatvam, but only from Purna Ishvara. And then Shankara gives a small sample list of what such people ask from Ishvara, of course, right? So this person with Sattvic Gunaha, predominantly Sattvic person, what does he ask from Ishvara? Shankara gives the little phrase, Shama, Dama, Daya, Shraddhadi. What does it stand for?
Sadhan
Sadhana
Chatushtayam.
Chatushtayam. It is the Upalakshanam for Jnana Yogyata. Right? Now, there's an important point here, Shraddha Adi. Important point of Shraddha is what? Almost every Vaidika, 95% of the people born in Sanatana Dharma, they have faith in Karma Kanda. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
What is the proof?
Temples.
Temples. Puja after puja. Your child is born, you go to a temple. Your child falls sick, you do a ritual. Your child has got an examination, you do a ritual. Child want to go for marriage, you do a ritual. Puja after puja, for wealth, for child, for welfare, everything. So that what does you don't even think, you automatically do the puja. So there is a Shraddha and Karma Kanda. But what is the tragedy? Shankara says, all of you guys you are focusing on what? The lower aspect of Ishvara. And that is why you do puja, 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 because you want welfare. But the same Shraddha, it doesn't extend to Jnana Kanda. When the same Veda tells you Tattvamasi, you are, really, is it so? Or maybe it's not for me, right? So he says this person asks for that. This Sattvic person, he asks for Shraddha so that he can have the same faith in the Jnana Kanda also. And if he has got that, Mam Gyatva, they understand me to be the ultimate, entity, the ultimate shelter, be the ultimate Ishvara, the master of all beings, the fulfiller of all boons. They recognize that. And who am I? I am Bhutadim. I am the cause of all beings. I am the very Jagat Karanam itself. And Shankara here says, by way of explanation, that the word Bhuta can have two meanings. What are they?
All living
Live
beings.
All living
on
beings.
past and past.
What is the other Bhuta?
Bhuta,
Elements.
ghost.
Elements.
Somebody said that. Elements, Panchabhutani, right? So Shankara adds that you can have two meanings for Bhuta. One is Panchabhutani and one is Praninam, all living beings. And Adi means Karanam. Therefore, Jagat Karanam. But here you have to take it, he is the cause for both. Because even Panchabhutani cannot come without Ishvara. He is the cause of both. Predominantly, you can take it as Jagat Karanam here. And Avyayam, without any change. Vyayam is change. Avyayam means without any change. Now here you have to link Avyayam to what? To Bhutadim, to the Adim part, Karanam part, right? Avyayam Karanam he's talking about. And when you say Karanam, therefore, because he's saying Avyayam Karanam, you have to go back to Tattvabodha. There are two types of Karanams. What are they?
Vishesh Karanam and Samanya Karanam.
That is one. We are not talking about that. What is the other one?
The Upadana Karanam, Vritta Karanam,
Upadana Karanam is of two types. What is that?
Vivarta and
Vivart Upadan Karanam.
And
Parinami.
Parinami Upadana Karanam. Okay, so Karanam itself is of two types, Nimitta and Upadanam. And Upadana Karanam is of two types, Parinami Upadana Karanam and Vivarta Upadana Karanam. So word Avyayam here means without change. What is it referring to?
Vivart.
Vivarta Upadana Karanam. So Ishvara is Vivarta Upadana Karanam. And this is indicated by the word Avyayam. So this kind of analysis, I mean, it's a bit extensive, but after having done this, the meaning of the words will be imprinted in your mind forever. That is why this particular, session of BG5 with a basis in Shankara Bhashyam, I find very fascinating. Okay, then what do? Gyatva Avyayam Bhutadim Bhajanti. Bhajanti. They start to inquire. Their journey begins. In the enquiry, Gyatva Avyayam Bhutadim. For understanding this eternal changeless cause, their journey begins. And Ananya Manasaha, without any other distraction in the mind. And we call this a particular name. This kind of attitude had a particular name in chapter 2. What was that? We dwelt a lot upon that. Anybody? I know chapter 2 was ages ago.
Pragna?
No. Siddhaprajna is a person who is established in wisdom. We are talking about a seeker.
Samatvam?
No. Okay, obviously nobody knows, so I'll give you Vyavasayatmika buddhi.
Yes.
What does it mean?
One who has clarity of goal.
One who has clarity of goal, one who knows what step follows which step, and therefore, if you know what follows which step, like if you know that, let us say you're going from Delhi to Ahmedabad, what are the steps? From your house, you will take a cab to the airport. From the airport, Delhi airport, you will take a flight to Delhi, to Ahmedabad airport. From Ahmedabad airport, you will take a cab to your destination, right? What is always in your mind?
The
Final
destination.
goal.
The final
final
goal is
goal.
always in your mind. That focus on the final goal, on moksha, ananya manasaha, without any other predominant thought in your mind. This is what Krishna calls vyavasayatmika buddhi, right? Now, a question can come up. This can only be for a sannyasi, right? Because how can I, as a grahastha, have a ananya manasaha? How can I only focus on moksha? Should I come only for class? Or should I look after my husband and children also? What is the answer?
Both.
You do everything with the goal.
All other
Right.
activities are
It's like
subservient to the final goal.
Balancing act.
Balancing act. Remember that ashrama is not just forest. It is not vanapastha ashrama alone. In the dharma, Sanatana dharma, your married life is called ashrama. Grahastha ashrama. Why? Ashrama, anywhere where you add the term ashrama, it means that your focus is on chitta shuddhi and jnanam. And therefore, dharma could be the immediate goal. But through dharma, moksha is always the ultimate goal. It doesn't matter if you're a sannyasi or a grahastha. It doesn't matter what your other responsibilities are. You carry out all your responsibilities. You pursue Vedanta with the same commitment, with the same amount of focus as a sannyasi. If you are committed, what is the proof that I'm committed? You look at yourself. We have been in this class for what, 3 years? Most of you have been in this class every Sunday. Very few Sundays you would not be there, right? This is commitment. Vyavasaya atmika buddhi. You are following all the other things in life. But about this path, there is no doubt in your mind. There is no, element of uncertainty in your mind. You know that if I walk on this path for long enough, if I understand all that is to be understood, I will get jnanam. So in fact,
So
it is said, Swami Dayananda used to say, the job of the Acharya is to push the student into a corner. And what do you do when the student is in the corner? He cannot help but seeing what he has to see. You have to push the student into a corner so that everything else is blocked out. He sees only one thing. He has to see what he is supposed to see. And what is that? You have to see that I am what I am seeking. There is no difference between what I am seeking and me. That is the job of a teacher. Right? So Shastram is something like Jnana Yoga, like mathematics, If when solving a mathematical problem, what is the one condition for ensuring that the answer is necessarily correct?
Presumption that A is equal to B.
No.
We
In solving
presume
any
Steps have to
problem,
be for
there are a number of
steps have to be for
steps. Correct. There are a
steps have
number
to be
of
in sequence.
steps. If every step is correct, there is no help.
then you will
The
get.
answer has to be correct. Right? So Jnana Yoga is something like that. If every step is correct, you will necessarily see that you are Brahman. And if in a mathematical problem, the answer is wrong, what do?
Retrace your steps.
You go back and check your steps. So if after your study, you do not see that you are Brahman, you have to assume that somewhere along the line, some step has been incorrectly understood. You go back, check all the steps, come back, you will see yourself as you really are. So with this, we'll stop for today. Any questions?
So necessarily we have to continue to do everything with the focus without any change.
Your class has to be primary focus.
So
Not
we
just
have
on
to
Sunday
plan
mornings.
all activities according to the plan, not plan the class according to the activities.
Plan all your activities so that class is available to you. Not only that,
Yes.
not just Sunday morning. Throughout the week, you spend some
Yes.
time thinking about the class. Plan your activities like that.
Yes.
We've already been cornered by you, Acharyaji.
If you are seeing, I have a feeling that most of you the knowledge is firm. Now it's only a question of,
Yeah, Nishtha.
the little bit of nishtha coming in.
That's quite encouraging.
So with this, we'll stop for today. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Om
Thank you so
Preeti.
much.
Thank you, Acharya.